Hi, my name is Azure. Welcome to the channel. This month we are talking about the three themes that really showed up in the collective check-in for August. And they also came in the channeled morning meditation that I provide in my newsletter. And so they were really, really strong themes this month. And so we are doing a video on each one to really dive into what they mean. Today's video is about distraction and how often are we reaching for distraction and why is that? And so the thing that came through is how much of your day are you disconnecting by reaching for a phone or device or scrolling or listening to a podcast or not allowing yourself to be fully engaged with people or tasks in front of you? You must ask yourself why this is. So what they're basically saying is that there are several reasons, two main reasons that this happens. First of all, these days we are being trained just by the way things are to have very short attention spans. So it is really hard for us to stay engaged in something for a long period of time. I mean, I don't know, we're probably a minute or two into this video and you're probably already thinking about something else, looking at your phone, doing something else. Like it is extremely hard these days to stay focused. And so one of the things they wanted me to talk about is that we need to start training ourselves and start pushing ourselves to have longer attention spans again. Because we are not only multitasking like crazy, we are multitasking with the short attention span, which is causing us to be completely distracted and disconnected constantly. And to be able to be present. And this is the reason this is so important, is to be present for ourselves and for others. So what they're saying is that this shows up in distraction of inputs. So we're distracted by inputs and our attention span is very short these days. The reason that this is something that we want to try to shift as much as possible, is because what we're really being called to do is to be in presence for ourselves and for others, and to begin to be comfortable in stillness. And so that's the second reason that we really lean into distraction, is that sometimes stillness and being with ourselves is really uncomfortable. And we want to get away from it. It's like uncomfortable. We want to just escape it. We just want to run away from that because whatever starts to come up feels scary and it feels bad. And we want to just avoid what feels bad. And so this is the time. And so I've mentioned this in some of the other videos, but right now is the time to start to kind of clean this stuff up, because we are being called to reconnect with ourselves, to reconnect with each other. I mean, right now we're connecting with AI more intimately than we're connecting with our fellow humans. And it is crazy, insane, right? And so we're being really called to begin to connect with each other again. And it's going to be really hard if we're not able to expand our attention span. And so they are calling us to start to do kind of exercises or push the bounds of how long we can stay engaged with something, with each other, with it could be anything. It could be a task. It could be anything that is going to expand your ability to stay engaged with something longer, so that we can connect with each other again. The other thing is that we want to be really discerning about what is distracting us, what we're distracting ourselves with. And they're not saying, there's no judgment in this. There's not like, oh, you're not supposed to watch TV, or you're not supposed to, I don't know, scroll on Instagram or Facebook or something. It's not like that. Although there is some danger in that, and that is part of, kind of why we have these short attention spans. So there can be precaution there, right? There can be awareness there. What they're really saying is, are we distracting ourselves in avoidance? Are we distracting ourselves because we are just fully incapable of holding the attention? Are we distracting ourselves because we are being distracted by someone or some else? So it's not really in our control. We're kind of just like going with the flow type of thing. Are we being distracted because we can't handle being in presence? And these are the questions that we want to start asking ourselves, because what's happening is we are entering into this next phase of humanity, of life, of ourselves, where we are being called to reconnect with source, reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with each other, and reconnect with love. And so if you're being called to that, and not everybody is, and that's okay, but if you're being called to that, these are the things that we really want to start looking at, because this is how we maintain the connection more constantly. And we can maintain it for longer periods of time. And we can feel like we're aligned. We can feel like we're in flow, right? Is that these are the things, the fear, the judgment, and the distraction. These are the things that we need to look at so that we can continue to maintain our connection to ourselves and to each other and to source for longer periods of time at a time, if that makes sense. And so it feels really important over not only the next month, but over, the next year and a half, 2 years, to really hone these skills so that, of shifting into love instead of fear, of shifting into compassion instead of judgment, of shifting into presence instead of distraction, because these are the things that are going to keep us connected and to keep us aligned. And so let's see if there's anything else they wanted to say about distraction. Give me 1 second. So what they're saying is that, distraction can also kind of be an abstract type of concept, and it shows up in the ways that we've talked about already in this video. But also there is in many people right now, there's a physiological component of this as well. And especially we don't normally talk about this on this channel, but it's what's coming through, and especially with the things we consume as far as like food and drink, the just kind of environmental factors that can cause us to have shortened attention spans. And so there's also a physiological component of this. And in fact, as our attention span shortens, there is a physiological difference in our bodies. And so it will take time and effort to unravel that and to change the physiology that is associated with it. So that felt important to say. But then also distraction feels a little bit abstract in some ways, because we really do often equate it to being unengaged and distracted in that way, like scrolling on our phones. But that's not the only way it shows up. To be distracted can also mean to be so consumed with our daily activities that there is no time and space for anything else to come into our field. It can show up as different coping mechanisms. It can show up as ways that we interact with people that are not authentic or genuine. So all of these things can be distractions, because when we are interacting with someone and we are not being authentic in that interaction, or we are not being it's the way if we are showing up and it's not authentic, it's a way to avoid what may be catalyzed by that interaction. And so these are all the ways that, and I'm sure there's plenty more, but these are other examples of how distraction can show up that is not serving us. And so they just wanted to kind of clarify that a little bit and to talk a little bit about the physiology. And really part of that is also saying to ourselves that there is a real thing to kind of unravel here and to give ourselves grace, because it takes time to build the attention span. It takes time to kind of rebuild our abilities to have connection and to stay in presence for a period of time, and to, if someone's talking to you, to not wander 5 billion different places, or to be thinking about how you're going to respond, or it's all the things, right? To look down at your phone 3 times while they're talking, right? It's more than that. It's also staying in authenticity with yourself and your interactions, and to be in the moment, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future, but being in the moment. That's being in presence, is not only in attention, but it's also being in the moment. And so really allowing yourself to just be. And there's nothing to do other than just be. And so hopefully that helps. And honestly, this is really the lesson of life, is there's really nothing to do but be in the moment. And so that relieves a lot of the pressure. There's no one you have to fix, including yourself. There's nothing you have to do, including, doing anything that we've talked about in this video or any of the other ones. There is really nothing to do but be in the here and now. And so when we can let ourselves off the hook with that, man, the pressure relaxes, right? And then we don't have to be caught up in, are we doing it right? Are we doing enough? Are we, right? So anyway, I hope that helped, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care.